Timeless Truths. Happy New Year to you. It's my first broadcast this year, so I want to say a very, very happy New Year to you. Really glad to be spending this time with you. Now, I did give some thoughts about what I would like to share with you on this very first episode of Timeless Truths. And this is a thought that came to my mind, and I really believe this is what I need to be sharing with you. You know, I was meditating on the account of God creating the world in Genesis chapter 1. And the Bible says God created, you know, the stars, the moon, the animals, the sea, all the sea creatures, the birds, you know the story. And then he created man on the sixth day. And then he commissioned man to take care of the earth, to tend the garden, to take care of the world that he had just created. And you know what that says to me? That says to me, if you're here in 2019, it's because God has an assignment for you. You're not just wasting space. You're not just wasting time. You're not here at this particular time, in this particular season, by accident. God has an assignment for you. So I don't know what you may be going through right now. I don't know how 2018 panned out for you. I don't know how it ended. I don't know what your dreams, your desires may be in 2019. But this one thing I know is that God has an assignment for you. And I want to encourage you to find out that assignment that God has for you. The other thing that struck me reading that account is the fact that God had provided everything that man needed before he made man. So he didn't make man and started to wonder, what is he going to need? What am I going to do now that I've created man? And now I need to think about what he needs and provide. No, God made every provision that man would need before he created man. So everything you need for your assignment, you already have. God has already made provision for you. He has already made provision for you. There is no lack. Believe me. In spite of the circumstances you may be facing right now, there is absolutely no lack. Provision has already been made for your assignment. Provision has already been made for the vision that God has for your life. And I want you to believe that. I want you to walk into 2019 knowing that there is no lack. Absolutely no lack. Our God is a God of abundance. He does things perfectly and abundantly every time. He always talks about much more, exceedingly more than we could ever ask. He is willing to give to us. So I want you to know that before you showed up on the scene, before you turned up in 2019, God had already made every provision you needed for every assignment he has created for you or he has designed for you for 2019. So be rest assured there is no lack. Step out in faith and go for it. Now, the other thing I want to leave with you on this first broadcast is for you to understand that there is something that God has already put in you to equip you for that which he has commissioned you for. That assignment he has given you, he has already given you all you need to fulfill it, and he has put it in you. I want to encourage you to find that seed, that unique seed that God has placed within you. You know, he was speaking to Moses when the children of Israel were leaving Egypt and going into the wilderness, and they came to the point where it seemed like there was no way out. They came to crossroads. The Red Sea was in front of them. The Egyptian army was behind them. It seemed like there was nowhere to go. And they began to cry out to Moses. And Moses began to cry out to God. And God said, why are you crying out to me? You already have the answer, Moses. You already have what you need. You already have it. And he said to Moses, what is that you've got in your hand? And Moses said, a rod. And you know the story. He said to Moses, stretch it over the waters. And God miraculously parted the waters. What I want to ask you is, what have you got in your hand? God is asking you that same question. What have you got in your hand? What has God placed in your hand that maybe you're overlooking and you're expecting help to come from here, there, and the other place? But God has already equipped you with what you need to do what he has called you to do. You know, there's a saying where I come from, what is in your Sokoto? You're looking for it in Sokoto. Now, for those of you who need that to be translated, basically what it means is what you have already in you, you're looking for it abroad kind of thing. So God has placed a seed in you. What you need to do is to discover that seed, discover that gift, discover that talent. God will never leave you without seed. He will never leave you without seed. Discover that seed, develop it, and begin to use it. And you will see the miraculous things that God is going to do with your life. Can I just challenge you to take some time out, take a minute to really just sit back and think about the unique gifts that God has blessed you with, that perhaps you neglected in 2012. I want to encourage you to go back to that place of just seriously thinking and identifying that unique gift that God has given you, and begin to use it, begin to put it into play, begin to develop it and use it to be a blessing to others. That's how Joseph went from prison to the palace. He used the gifts that God gave him and he used it to bless others. So that's my timeless truth to you today. Everything you need for the assignments that God has for you, he has already created. He has already made provision, and he does have an assignment for you. You're not wasting space. He has an assignment for you, and he has provided everything you need to fulfill that assignment. I hope you've been blessed by this short video I've done for you today. If you have, I want you to be a blessing to me and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video. That will really put a smile on my face and give me joy in my heart. And it will show me that you watched it and you were blessed by it, of course. And of course, like I always encourage you to do, share the video, share it so that somebody else can be blessed by this short word of encouragement. Listen, you never know who needs to hear this. Now, to you hearing it, you might think, oh yeah, sure, I know this. But there might be some other people out there who this is just the word they need at this very moment in time. So will you be a blessing to somebody and just share this video with them so they can be blessed too? Thank you for spending this time with me. I really look forward to spending more times with you on Timeless Truths in 2019. But until I see you on the next video, I want you to understand that you're here for a reason. And for such a time as this, God has placed you here. You're not wasting time. He has an assignment for you, and he has provided everything you need to fulfill that assignment. God bless you until I see you next time. Bye for now.